I got two air conditioner units. I got the compressors. Got the window units here. I got them from my buddy, the plumber, Rick the plumber. Thanks, Rick. Gave me a couple of copper fins. So I'm going to open this up here. Hopefully it's easy to open. There's a few screws here. See what happens. I don't see a lot of screws on there, but it should come all apart. Assembly. I'll take it all apart, show you what's inside. I'll kind of show you what I can get out of here for scrap. They're pretty heavy. They're about 80-90 pounds each, I would think. Pretty heavy. Two units here, two window units. So I'm going to start taking them apart. So I get my screw gun, get my tools together. I'm going to put the metal with metal, and I'm going to get the rads out of there. The rads are really worth the money, is the rads. There should be a couple rads in there, because I can see two rads and whatever there is, and copper tubing and all that. Okay, let me see how it goes. I'll show you as we proceed here. Okay, basically, let me get my gloves on here. They're called Mitsubishi Electric Mr. Slimline Rotary. They're pretty heavy, like I say. I unscrewed the panel here, two screws. Basically, like I say, everything was disconnected properly. The Freon was taken out originally, professionally. So let me see what all screws there is, what I have to do here. I've never took one apart, but oh yeah, it's coming apart pretty easy actually. Probably a couple screws in the other end. Let me just pop the screws off. One here. Come on. That figures a bit rusty, so I'll have to get a standard screwdriver. Might work better. I think it's clipped in the side here. It's a clip. There it is. One clip off there. There it is. Three sides exposed already. Okay, so basically, sealed unit here. It's got a transformer, or not transformer, but a motor in there, electrical motor. It's a pump system. It pumps the Freon through here. So basically, you got aluminum here. Looks like one rad, and a little bit of copper tubing. It's all copper here. It's got quite a bit of copper in there. So ideally, I don't know. So there's no real cleanup here. It's clean because there's no steel in this one. Usually they have a steel on the end here. This looks like all aluminum. So basically what it's going to be is, this will have to go to like probably the Asians there. They'll pay probably about 10 cents a pound for this stuff. Was 10 or 12 cents a pound, I believe. Copper, this will be number 2 copper because it's got liquids in it. That should be $3 a pound, I would think. And I think the radiators go for, I think, $1.30 a pound, possibly. The prices have been varying up and down, right? Hard to say, but let me take it apart a little more. I'll let you know how heavy the rad looks. Pretty heavy. I think it's probably about 10 pounds of rad, 10-15 pounds of rad, probably, I would think. So it's a good amount of stuff in here. It's a good little unit, compact, fairly heavy. Like I said, most of the weight is actually this thing. It's very heavy. Okay, I'll start taking stuff apart. I'll recycle the wire. I'll put all the parts. I'll put the steel in the pile. I'll recycle it as much as I can. I'll show you more as I keep going. Okay, stand by. Okay, nut off here. Pulled this off. It's plastic. Not worth nothing. Well, you can recycle it, but they don't pay really nothing for it. Also, I took the screws out here, here, and here. So now this is the mortar down here below here. pop that motor off. That's a pretty heavy motor. Wow, it's very heavy motor here. I don't know why it's so heavy. I pop the screws here off, 2 off there. This motor probably weighs at least 10-15 pounds. It's that heavy. Very surprising. Very heavy motor in there. Okay. Okay, also with these capacitors, they could hold the charge, especially high voltage ones could hold the charge and get you shocked here. So, you know, these are dead. You can short them out if you want, whatever, but best not to really touch them, to be honest. If you're in doubt, don't touch it, because you could get a big shock capacitor. So there's another one here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. Screws are so rusty there, my gun's just dripping. The last bit I had just stripped. Bit was useless, I had to chuck it away. So okay, that's why I got hand screwdrivers too, for the really hard, tight ones. Okay, I got another one down here. Basically a couple of contact points here, some sort of switching devices, could be relays. I'll pop the relays off for now. Scrap metal. Another screw here. So basically we got left is the radiator. Just gotta figure how it's being attached here. I'm not sure if it's clipped in of some sort. Maybe it looks like it's clipped in. There it is, it's just a little clip in there. So I'm just gonna cut these here. So it's actually, it looks like 2 radiators, like I was saying. There it is. Well, that's pretty heavy. I would say probably 20 pounds at least. It's like 2 radiators put to one. It's about 20 pounds. And then we got the compressor here. Just let me, I'm gonna unbolt these bottom here. Get my crescent wrench out. Unbolt the compressor part. This one had 2 screws in each side were holding the piping together. They're sitting there holding those piping, so I cut them off previously. Okay, basically there we got it. I would say we got probably about 40 pounds of steel. Well, counting, that's about 30-40 pounds there. That's probably this is probably at least 20-25 pounds alone. Then we got 30 pounds of rad, probably 25 pounds of rad. And the mortar, probably 10 pounds. So I can say it's probably about a 100-pound deal here. I'm just gonna get my Sawzall. I'm gonna cut these little fittings off so you can see them, because they got to be trimmed. See, it's fairly clean. I would just have to cut this off here. Cut the piece of brass off. And then we're looking at number 2 copper. Number 2 copper, a little piece of brass. Number 2 again, I mean brass here. Take the plastic clip off. There's a tie here. So now we're dealing with a piece of brass at the end here. We'll Sawzall that off. Another brass here. Yeah, not bad. Amount of copper there actually. Another piece of brass. Probably a couple, at least a pound of brass at least. And we have some little black rubber's got to be taken off. Really rubbery, hard to get off. Find a knife. We'll just get a knife in here. I'd say probably about at least 4 pounds of copper, I think. 3-4 pounds. A little bit of wire. It's a good amount of scrap in this little thing. Now the units here. Piece of copper here. So a good little Good little amount of copper in this thing, actually. Okay, that's the number one. I'm gonna strip the other thing here now. This is the window thing that fits in your window next. So let me get set up here, stand by. Here it is. This is the matching Mr. Slim Mitsubishi Electric MS 112DN. Okay, so we got, looks like 3 screws here. Pulls the plastic cover on. So we got waste of plastic here. You can see a screw here. See, I never took one of these apart, so like I say, bear with me. I'm learning, like just like you guys watching this video. If you've done it before, you probably know every little piece on this thing, but like I say, first time I ever done this on this type of model. Yeah, the key thing is you take all the screws off, right? All screws you can see. It's usually a starting point. Because all the visual screws are the ones that have to come off. Lost my screw bit there. Take these groundings off. Get my gloves off. On. Okay. You can see a lot of screws here, so must be all popped in there. The plastic's just gotta pop them off, I guess, or something. There's it's just sitting there. Plastic. And more plastic in here. Yeah, just the bits don't fit properly. It's very tight, that one. Let's pull these off for now. No, I'll just normally cut them because you lose a bit of wire, big deal. Got a circuit board in here. That's your controller board. Controls the whole thing. Temper control, on and off, speed functions. Looks like I got a bunch of relays here, I believe. Relays. Some sort of sensor. Temperature sensor, I would think. A couple ICs. Programming ICs. Some little bit of copper in there. Low grade board. Now I gotta determine how all this comes apart. A transformer right there. This goes in the transformer buckets. I'll cut the wire short later, but not right now. Okay. There's another sensor or something in here. Let's see before I cut it, I'll see what it is. It just looks like some, probably like a relay or something. Just switches and so on. A little more wire. Just kind of a low grade board, more like just scrap garbage. More scrap metal. Pretty heavy little piece too. Solid. Here's your mortar. Gotta figure out how it's fastened in here. The plastic. That's the fast way. So the mortar is looks like it's all riveted together. You have to take the rivets out to get the windings apart. Looks like a copper mortar from here. It's quite heavy. A little bit of wire on it. Piece of scrap metal, or is that metal? Yeah, it's metal. It's almost like plastic, but it's metal. Oh, look at that. More plastic. Okay, now here is your rest of your radiator part. This goes in your window. Let me just cut this along here. Pop this metal off. Doesn't fit. Got like a protector sleeve on this copper here. Plastic. And what I'll do is I'm going to cut it right by the radiator for now. So now I got to determine how this thing, it looks like it just kind of comes off there, but let me just try. I'm going to cut this copper piece here first. Not that's worth like very much, but still copper. I cut it here for the brass. You have to unwind it like a snake. What I might have to do is do a straight cut here first. Binding on that little piece there. Nice straight cut. There it is. And that's steel. I guess it's to prevent it from bending. See, number 2 copper at least. Maybe number 1 if you get away with it. Might be able to. But they say if there's been any oil inside it, it's number 2. But you know, who's gonna know, right? And now I got to deal with this next one here. It's kind of like rusted on here. It's really not moving. This one moves here. What I do is cut some of it off. We can get in there. One piece there. Cut that one there. There it is, clean. Then I get a clean piece there. Okay, now these radiators, to get the maximum price, you got tin here, right? So you gotta separate the tin. So what I normally do is I'll cut a little right along here. Along that side, cut along this side here. now you're getting your top dollar for this piece, versus with the metal you get a lower price, right? Boom. Okay, and then these ones, like I say, a lot of times with copper, you can pry them out. A lot of times you can pry them out like that. See that, guys? Sometimes not that easy, so this one's easy. We got lucky on this one. See? You have your metal there. More metal. See, some are really hard. Depends. The other one I cut really tight too. It helped a little bit better, but see, this one's tough. But if I put it in a vise, it'll probably be a little bit easier with a vise. See, very hard to get out. Sometimes very easy, right? Sometimes hard. This one off. How many times? Whatever your time's worth, right? If you want to spend time, you know. I could probably sell this the way it is, dirty, right? See, if you got screwdrivers and tools, vices and stuff, it's easy. Like, I'm still working on my workbench, so I'm just playing in my yard here right now. See, you gotta put this way you need a vise. You put in a vise and it just, anyways, you get the point. Okay, I'm gonna take the other things apart. I'm getting rid of this plastic here, it's in my way. I'm gonna move it up there, and then I'll show you what the two complete units, air conditioner units, provide, you know. I don't have a scale right now, so definitely worth taking apart, guaranteed. I think they only pay around 10, 12 cents, maybe 14 cents a pound for this stuff. They don't pay very much. They used to pay like 25, 30 cents a pound for this stuff, but not anymore. So that's why you have to take it apart, because there's actually a lot in there. You know, more than people really know until they start taking it apart. See, got some wire in this one actually. Heavy duty wire, right? You start taking things apart. You know, you probably got could be a five pounds of copper probably there, 4 or 5 pounds for sure. And then you have a couple mortars, which are very, very heavy inside, so there could be a lot of copper in them. Then you have your steel at 8 cents a pound. Fins, I think they're $1.32 anywhere, because prices are down a little bit right now. So at least $1.20, I would think, hopefully, for fins, right? And they're clean. There's no metal on them, so they should be top dollar. Okay, so I'll do the next couple here. Show you everything on the wrap up there, and I still gotta I need to take a dent to my pile here. It's all my e-waste here. I got all sorts of stuff in here, so I'm kind of working my way up until I can get rid of it all. And this is good here because this stuff is heavy. I got a load of tin on my truck I want to dump on Tuesday, so I'm gonna take tackle this pile all day tomorrow. And as much metal I can get out of here, I'm gonna fill my truck up as I can, because like these old furnace fans, you take the motor out, you get a heavy case, right? And then TV sets, like I say, I'll take them down, all plastic part. I got a couple computers there, flat screens. I'll take the boards out. The motors, I'm just gonna take the housing off and leave the case, deal with the motors later. No time for the motors right now. That'd be more of like a wintertime project when I'm not too busy. And then I still have that too, so that will go to the Chinese guys. They buy that, I think 12 cents, I believe 10 to 12 cents. I think 10 cents, yeah, they paid me 10 cents last time. So if I take it to Snitzer, I gotta drain the oil out, I gotta put a hole in it. It's there, they don't care, so take it wherever it's easy to get rid of. Okay, and I want to process this cast aluminum. I want to do a good load. Got another radiator I have to take it apart there. The radiator's gone, but I just got to take the motor apart, a few things. Like I say, it's a work in progress. Okay, we'll show you more as we go. Okay, I stripped the 2 units here. I took my time. It took about maybe 2.5 hours, probably 2 hours, I would think. I got 2 sealed units, the compressor units, fairly heavy. I got 2 motors. I left the wires long just because I might do something with these motors. They're really heavy-duty motors. I'm trying to do another wire stripping machine, building one myself, just the small units for smaller type wires, like maybe you know, like stranded type wires, just something a little different. I'm gonna try experiments. I got a couple of boards, 2 boards for the 2 units. These are kind of like I'm not really sure what they are really. 440 volts. Capacitors, I guess those are capacitors. This could be some sort of relay, maybe. 12 volt DC. Couple. These are capacitors. These are transformers. 2 transformers. 2 other motors there, fairly heavy. Did get my wire. That's the wire I have, plus 2 of those ends. I'll show you the garbage here. This is actually one unit of garbage. I threw the other unit of garbage away already, so it would be twice the amount of this garbage. That's only 1 unit of garbage. So there's two times that. This is the 2 units of scrap tin. Pretty good pile of tin, fairly heavy. This is all my brass. All my copper, number 2 copper. And then here's all the radiators. And these radiators are pretty heavy. This one is actually fairly heavy here. This has got to be 20 pounds. So I'd say there's probably 60 pounds, 70 pounds of radiators probably, I would think. So say like 20, that's 40. It could be like 70, 80 pounds probably. So it's a pretty good haul. Good amount of copper, probably about 10 pounds of copper, I think, pretty close to. 5 pounds of brass, probably about 40. I know, probably about 50 pounds of steel at least. A fair amount of waste. I had probably about 20 pounds of waste between counting both of it at least. I gotta recycle some of it. Some of it goes in the garbage. Got maybe 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of wire, maybe if I'm lucky. Mortars. I mean, that's probably about maybe around 3 pounds, 6 pounds. These are probably about more like, it's probably about 15 pounds of mortars, I would think. And then here, this is really heavy here. So I'm thinking these are probably about 30 pounds each. 35 pounds, so 70 pounds. So I mean, I'd say it's probably at least $100 worth of scrap, I would think, at least. Maybe a little more because of copper. 120 bucks, so probably worth about 60 bucks each. That's my estimate, you know, just judging by, but it's well worth taking apart. I know I used to sell these around 30 cents a pound. We used to weigh them up. Now they don't want to pay nothing. Maybe like last time I had a radiator, guys thrown in a shred pile. Well, that's ridiculous, you know. So they don't know what to do. No one's taking them apart here. Asia, they're just buying them, you know, it's real cheap. But anyways, I think they pay around 10 cents at the most, 10-15 cents a pound maybe for this material, the way it is, right? Okay, that's it for this part of the portion, and I'm gonna start taking some other stuff apart. I'm gonna get rid of this material, clean this garbage up. I'm gonna take the computers apart because I'm curious on what boards are in the computer. I'll take a couple TV sets apart. I'll process this fan, take the motor out at least. So it's coming there pretty good. So okay, we'll show you more as we go. Stand by.